Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of November. I hope you well. I'm using the Tarot Shadow and Light for you today. I haven't used this one for a while. So if you haven't seen these readings before, I structure them slightly differently to the way that I do the main monthly readings, in so much as we are looking for the lesson. It is both an energetic snapshot of where you are right now, but also an exercise in perspective. So the reason being is that I believe that there is wisdom or a lesson contained in every experience and interaction that we have, and sometimes we miss the broader picture of why we're in a particular energy at any given time, because we get bogged down with minutiae of day-to-day stuff, right? So this is kind of like pulling back, seeing where you are and seeing where it's taking you. Where is it leading you, and why is it leading you in that way? What is it trying to show you about yourself? So to that end, what we will do is pull 3 cards for your current energy, and then we'll pull 3 cards and see why you are there, right? What is trying to be shown to you at this time? Almost always there is a lesson in there is insight into something about you, the way that you react to things, the way that you are constructed, that sort of thing. But sometimes it's about clearing the way for new things to come in, you know. Often it's both. We won't know until the cards hit the table. So we'll close out with 3 cards of advice and see if we can't help you navigate that a little more easily. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure it will by the end of the reading. So let's start off with current energy for Leo, please. Current energy for Leo. There it is. That's the one. We have the Star, card of Aquarius in the Major Arcana. Just so you know, I only take the cards that jump to the left. I don't take the ones that fall to the right, because it's probably me just being cack-handed. For a second. 2 more cards for Leo's current energy, please. There we are. We have the 8 of Cups. And 1 more, please. I've fallen out everywhere. We have the 6 of Swords. Oh, with the 5 of Cups underneath it there. We've got the 9 of Swords that's fallen out here. I'm not going to take it, but I am going to show it to you. We've also got the King of Swords, more Aquarius energy. And we've got the 2 of Swords. Now, although I'm not going to take these, I do think that perhaps they have something to say. I'm going to show them to you. There. 9 of Swords, King of Swords, 2 of Swords. It might well be that at this time there is a decision that you need to make, and you're kind of putting off making it. Usually because you know what you're going to do and you know what you have to do, and for whatever reason you don't want to do it. That might just be for some of you, but nevertheless it's there, right? So we've got the Star, we've got the 8 of Cups, and then we've got this 5 of Cups and 6 of Swords. Now the 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords have relatively similar meanings, but there's quite a nuanced difference between them. Obviously one is Cups and one is Swords, so we're talking about not only emotions, but we are talking about, you know, sometimes thought patterns, sometimes experiences almost, but they both speak about leaving something behind, something that doesn't form part of your experience moving forwards, and it quite likely has formed part of your experience from the past, you know. I do feel like this is a difficult time for you, Leo. Like, astrologically speaking, there's an awful lot going on in the sky at the moment, and there's all sorts of squares and face-offs going on. I think even today, as I'm recording this, there's a point where Mercury is squaring off against something, and Saturn's involved there somewhere as well. I'm not an astrologer, but I do remember hearing that this was going to be a day where there were, you know, difficult things coming to light. But wherever these difficult things come to light, whether they be about the relationships that we have with other people, or the, you know, seeing something about ourselves that was likely always there but that we never saw, the point of it coming to the surface is so that you can look at it, process it, and then put it where it belongs, which is firmly in your past. Like I said, there's a real sense of your future, and we can see the star card talking about the future there, does not contain these emotions or the sharp pain of these experiences moving forwards, right? Now, the Eight of Cups deals with those situations that we have quite likely long left behind, but that we still carry the emotions around associated with them. We all know we've all had situations like that, you know, particularly when it comes to things from your childhood and things like that. You know, often it'll be 30 years can go by before you start to put pieces together and work out that there's a reason why you feel the way that you do, and actually it's 30-year-old reason. It doesn't form part of your current experience in any meaningful sense other than how you allow it to. The Six of Swords is more of a present transition away, right, from a thing. But it's cups. Again, we have the Five of Cups. We have this card that talks about, often about loss, about grief. Sometimes it can be full-on bereavement, you know. But it's focusing on what has been lost rather than what remains. And Leo, this is a very clear indication that whatever your future holds for you, the Five of Cups needs not to form a part of it. Now, we've spoken at length before about, very recently, about fixating on outcomes. And I have to confess, like a mea culpa, this is actually the second reading that I've recorded for you. I did one yesterday as well. And it's niggled me. It's niggled me since I did it, and I probably won't upload it now, actually, to be honest. Oh, it's already uploaded. I probably won't release it. But there were similar sort of themes coming on there, right? This... In some ways, all we really have is the past, right? That's how we understand the world. So we have experiences, then we process them, and when new things come along, we move along in the world into our future. What we take is what we have learned thus far, right? And we kind of map it onto this new situation, and we go, right, okay, here are the correlations. Here are the ways in which it all fits together. I've seen this situation before. I remember how I dealt with it last time. I remember what happened last time. So you might deal with it slightly differently, but it's still kind of pushing this expectation of things going a particular way. And there's this extraordinary sense that I've got that at this point, it's almost necessary for you to put aside what it is that you think that you know, what it is that you think that you want. All of these things, like put them to one side and actually just open yourself up and accept what is coming, whatever it may be. This is a very strange feeling that I've got here. I'm going to pull the Tarot of the Abyss out and get some clarifiers, although I don't usually clarify mid-month readings. I feel like it's necessary. Now, Leo is one sign that has not been particularly highlighted in what is going on, astrologically speaking, right? That will particularly suffer in the light of it. Nevertheless, it is going to affect everyone in some degree or another. And it seems like this last 2 weeks of November offer quite a profound time for you, for healing, for growth, for movement away from everything that has been into everything that could be. Tell me about this star, please, for Leo. Why is the star here for Leo? Thank you. We have the Hermit card, which is the card of Virgo. Oh, one flew over the top. Yeah. We've got the Six of Wands, which is a Leo card there, but it's a card that speaks about victory. It's public victory, actually, you know. It's not just you winning, it's you being seen to, do very well in something. But if you kind of push a little further into the meaning of that card, then that is the outward view. It's how people perceive the way that you're dealing with things. We've got the Page of Cups, followed by the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. followed then by the Hierophant, which is in this deck is called the Wise One, and I actually love it a million times more than I love the Hierophant card, this one here, because what we've got going on there is an emotional progression. We've got a slight change in direction for you emotionally. Like I said before, like the pages are the starting points, right? It is the opportunity for a new start, but because we are dealing with, we're not dealing with fresh new babies that have come into the world, or it isn't necessarily the start of a new cycle. What it is a slight deviation in the path that you were taking, right? So you're going off in a different direction here. What it says to me here is that your future is very much bound up in what is going on inside of you right now. Well, it's clear that this is strongly emotional in nature. This 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups here. Like, there's a lot of emotional progression. But I've said it a million times, Leo, like the answer to every question that you could ever ask resides within here. The ones that are really important, the ones that are really meaningful. And the next stage in your cycle, such as it is, might well see you being more seen by other people, in whatever sense that applies. But I think some of it is about showing people what is sitting within as much as anything else. Like there's always an aspect of vulnerability implied by the Star card. I mean, the woman is literally butt naked and she's pouring water into the pool in front of her, but she's also pouring it into the ground. It's like grounded emotions there within the air card, right? Which it is, because it's Aquarius. It's about thoughts and connection to the future and whatnot. It's about seeking your truth, Leo, and then showing it to other people. It's not about what's going on outside of you. It's absolutely not about your attachment to outcomes. Anything that you feel that you don't have at this time, it's almost like you're being, it's being, I was going to say requested, but it feels slightly stronger than that. Use that as a signpost for that which needs to be jettisoned from your life altogether. We've got the Temperance card, the 9 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Fool that fell out here to the right. Now, I'm not usually in the business of taking the cards that fall out to the right. However, as an indication to where you are going, what we've got here is healing, we've got resilience, and my God, Leo, you've needed it this year. You really have. But we've got the Wheel of Fortune and we've got the Fool. It seems like what is coming for you is both unexpected and truly liberating, right? This is what sets you on this new cycle here. This year's been frustrating as fuck for all Leos. I know that for a start. But you have learned a lot of things. You've learned to be more present, for sure. You've learned to be more patient. But having lost your faith and found your doubt, it's almost like you've come full circle back to a very humble state of faith, both in yourself and in some sort of higher plan for you. Do you know? It's almost been a really long, drawn out dark night of the soul for you. Tell me what else we have behind here, please. Fuck's sake. Up, that, down there. What have we got? We've got the 5 of Wands. This could be external conflicts, yes, but I do think that they're internal for you with that Hermit there. I mean, part of the Leo experience is to never let anybody see how much you struggle internally. Yeah, like complete releasing of yourself from that. We've got the 5 of Wands and we've got the Fool, and this would be specifically self-doubt. Absolutely self-doubt, but ways in which emotionally you have not been kind to yourself. You set a very different standard for you than you set for everybody else. And it's interesting, the reading that I did yesterday was very much focusing on, like I said, you know, these attachment to outcomes and all that sort of thing as well. But the need to work together with other people, right? To let your defenses drop. And these are defenses that are so rigid and in place that perhaps that you didn't realize that they weren't naturally part of the scenery, you know? Let's Five of Cups, please. It's got the Justice card here. Justice card and the Page of Wands. The Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. I've got the Eight of Swords beyond it and the Eight of Pentacles. So very karmic numbers, both of them. But the Two of Wands does indicate that you are at somewhat of a crossroads, even if you don't feel like it at the moment. It's maybe you've been sat at this crossroads for a while, and maybe you did know that. And maybe that's one of the reasons why this year has been so frustrating for you. But this Justice card here, there are all sorts of really huge themes that are just tripping through my mind right now. When it comes to bringing justice to yourself, Leo, your ability to look not only everybody that you know in the eye, people that you don't know in the eye, but also look your fate in the eye, whatever it may be. And you're being called to be very, very strong at this time, Leo, because anything that doesn't serve your purpose needs to be jettisoned right now. Now, you spent most of this year looking at what those things are that are holding you back in some sort of way, whether it be spiritual or emotional or indeed physical. And we've got the Page of Wands coming out underneath there, right? Make preparations for heading off in a new direction. It's the second page that we've got come up for you here. Now, let me put these cards to the side. No, do you know what? I'm going to get one more. Get one more for this Six of Swords. We've got the Magician. And in so many ways, Leo, you've been depriving yourself of the ability to be able to manifest what it is that you want moving forwards. Possibly because you've been sabotaging yourself on such a deep subconscious level that you haven't even recognized that it was there. All of this seems to be pushing you towards something very big indeed. And like, this is that last bit of tension before the balloon pops, you know, when you put a needle into it. And it's just, the whole thing just goes, eh. Not a needle, maybe something a bit bigger and fatter, you know what I mean? It's just like everything stretches just a little bit more. Tell me why Leo is in this energy. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the High Priest, which is the Hierophant, appearing again for you. And we have the Ace of Wands. This is about pushing you out of your comfort zone, Leo. And to other people, you seem very confident, you seem very bold, but it covers a lot of what is wrong with you, for you, around you. But the deepest winter, the coldest place, sometimes is within you, Leo. You are your own harshest critic. And there's a process of learning here, teaching yourself, maybe taking your own advice that is leading you towards that burst of inspiration to do things differently. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here with the Ten of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. It's an incredible set of cards, but it does talk about culmination. We are working, we're culminating. We've actually had the Eight of Pentacles as well. This is you and the way that you marshal your resources. Where do you put them? You know, are you so independent that you are refusing to be interdependent? That's possible. But nevertheless, you know, the things that have been low level, sucking away on your energy for probably decades, these are the things that are being shown to you now. And this Ten of Pentacles, it's about commitment, right? What are you committing to? What is it that you want to build? Because it's probably slightly different to what you wanted at the beginning of the year. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. We've got these two cards numbered 10 right here. The Wheel of Fortune does talk about your fortunes improving, but it does also talk about you learning something that was necessary for you to learn. And karmically speaking, right? What is it that you're going to commit to moving forwards? How is what you have learned this year affecting what it is that you actually want now? Because if you haven't spent the time considering the difference between what you wanted initially and what you've got now, it seems like you're kind of missing the point a little bit. There's a lot here asking you to sit in contemplation, like really think, Leo, really think about what is important to you, what you want to commit to, what is wrong and how you can fix it, not just outside of you, but inside here, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. Because it seems like you hold the key to changing whatever is stagnant and stilted here in your life. And it's not about changing the outside necessarily, it's about changing the inside. You know, what will you accept? If there is a thing that you've been focusing on, like why that thing? Why have you been focusing on it? Why have you pegged so much on that being what you needed? And what is its corresponding internal reflection? What is this need that you are trying to fill in you? And how can you cultivate that within you so that what is outside of you is not necessarily, you know, having to be exactly this thing? When you work on the inside, whether it is the stability that you're looking for, or, you know, wanting to feel loved and appreciated, you know, whichever way it resonates for you. When you understand that all of that is self-generating and everything outside of you is transitory and fleeting, there's a sense here of you being asked to dedicate yourself to something higher than what is necessarily right in front of you. You will have, like I said in the main monthly reading, you will have what you need. It might not necessarily be what you want, but it would be wise at this point to learn to know the difference between the two and the importance of the difference between the two. You know, the world is undergoing some really heavy changes at the moment. And the emphasis that was placed on self-work in the 6-month overviews that I did for each of the signs, it's always important, but it was hammered home really, really hard in those 6-month readings. It suggests to me that whatever it is that you're looking for outside of you, you are not going to be able to find it. You're not even going to be able to find something that just tickles that. More, you are being asked to look at the corresponding stuff inside. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is a message that is coming through very, very strongly. And so, I was going to say something that I completely forgot. Let's get some cards of advice for Leo, please. We have the Four of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. I'll show you that. Now, the fours all indicate stability, right? Because they are the building of a new paradigm. The Four of Wands is the construction of something that feels very strongly like home to you. Whether it is four walls, and the way that this reading is going, I suspect that it's absolutely not. God, DPD, man. More, it is how do you cultivate the feeling that you associate that with the joy, the celebration, the happiness, the people around you. But also the safety and the stability of these things. The Eight of Pentacles suggests that this is something that needs some work in you, and this is the time to do it. This is absolutely the time to do it. But with this Four of Pentacles here and this looming tower in the background, you know, there's something that you're holding on to. Again, it might well be this fixation on a particular outcome that needs to be released. Cute. Let's see what that was. We've got the Ten of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, I don't know where that thumping music is coming from. I hope you can't hear it. I actually think it's coming from a car out there. Ace of Swords. We've got the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. It is incumbent upon you. It's really important at this time that you stabilize yourself. You stabilize your emotions, you stabilize your mind, you stabilize all of the things that, you know, if every material possession that you own got wiped off the planet tomorrow, you would still have in here the necessary stability to move forwards. We've got the Ten of Cups with the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords here. I feel like some of you do really feel like you've been picked on this year. But in the deprivation of the material things that you've needed, or, you know, the change in circumstance that you've needed, that has felt cruel at times, it's reshifted your focus towards this Ten of Cups, towards what is important. Family, friends, connections, all manner of relationships. You know, the reading that I did yesterday, it spoke about this, but it also spoke about the importance of dropping your defenses and making sure that you were working fully to the best of your ability that you can be with the people around you, you know, whoever your tribe is at the moment. And it's finishing out with this Ace of Swords. It's not a happy Ace of Swords. But I think sometimes the truth of the matter is kind of painful. It's not something that we really want to necessarily engage with. But the other way of looking at the Ace of Swords is it is that process of putting things together in your mind and seeing the truth for you know, the way that it actually is. Everything that you've experienced this year has been for a purpose, and just because you do not see it yet, it does not mean that it's not there. There's been a reframing, a refocusing of what is important in your life. And it truly is the connections. I should have mentioned in the video yesterday that I remember coming across something at the beginning of the year that said that for Leos specifically, the main emphasis of the year was going to be on their relationships. It's not about work, it's not about stuff, it's not about career, it's none of that. It's about the relationships, the way that we respond to people, the way that we allow people in, and the way that we are there for other people too. Leo, if you're focused on anything other than your tribe and your emotions, it seems to me to be suggesting that you're focusing on the wrong thing. And the last 2 weeks of November are a really good time to sit in reflection and just make sure that your priorities are straight. And that you are truly digging that wisdom from you internally, moving forwards. I'd love to be able to sit here and say, yeah, everything's going to be awesome and sorted and brilliant. But do you know what? I think too often, sometimes I see readings where people are like, yeah, new love's coming in, yeah. But it's not actually sitting and dealing with the important stuff, which is what is going on in here and in here for you. Because I do think where you're being pushed, Leo, is to something much, much bigger than where you are right now. And in order to be able to commit to that and to receive what that is, and the corresponding responsibility that's going to go with it, let's not forget, the eradication of doubt is critically important for you, is self-doubt. And sometimes, Leo, without concrete evidence that everything's just going swimmingly, you know, that way in which the waters just seem to part. You need a thing and, you know, everybody gets on the synchronicity bus because suddenly there it is, you know, serendipity. What you need is there when you need it. Sometimes being on the right path isn't everything just unfolding in front of you. Sometimes it's full of struggle. Sometimes you fight battles that nobody sees. And sometimes the rewards that you get are nothing to do with this level of vibration. How peculiar, right, Leo? I'm going to leave it there because I've been waffling on for like half an hour, which is far too long. I really hope that this was helpful. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.